everyone, my name is Candace Moore. I am the owner of More Grace. I build programs and develop workshops, everything that is designed to bring people together to allow them to become unblocked so that they can step into the space of their authentic self. And that might sound like a simple sentence, but it's definitely a process. So welcome to our community family. If anyone is tuning in for the first time, you are so welcome here. I hope that you subscribe and find the content of value. Today's topic is feedback, how we receive feedback. There are two types of feedback. There's verbal, there's nonverbal. Verbal is when you articulate to me your response to my contribution, whether it's verbal, we're working on a project, we're in a relationship, whatever it is. Nonverbal is when your actions tell me how you feel about the scenario that we are both sharing. So I want to talk about tools, and I want to talk about level of fitness. How I receive feedback is dependent upon where I am in my emotional development at that particular moment. Where am I in my level of mental and emotional fitness? Because if I am coming from a low frequency, I have self-doubt going on, maybe I'm coming off of a couple of things that didn't turn out like I wanted them to turn out. I've attached a narrative to those scenarios, and then I receive feedback from something completely unrelated. I may not hear what you're saying. I may hear how I'm already feeling. So there's some misplaced energy, or a possibility of misplaced energy. The tools that I've been able to develop, and I employ them 98% of the time. So 98%, yay, that 2% can be dicey. So one of the tools is I pause. That's so important in almost everything. Pausing. I have a friend that says there's movement in the pause. So I'm not just pausing and sitting idly. No, I am taking that energy, because energy is always being created. I am going to repurpose it, redirect it in an area that I can feel I have forward movement in. That also gives me time to apply the second part of that, and that is to reflect on the relationship. For me, I surround myself with like-minded individuals. I trust them. We support one another. So it's unlikely that I'm going to get feedback that's random and with any other intent than to help my growth and development. When I respond quickly to feedback that perhaps isn't what I wanted, if it's not processed, I may miss an opportunity of growth there. When it's nonverbal feedback, that can get a little bit tricky, because I may put a narrative in that space that doesn't actually apply, right? I may decide the reason I'm not getting verbal feedback is because of who knows what, depends on where my head is. So for those days when I get feedback that is less than glowing, I'm not referring to the days when I'm feeling great about me, I'm feeling great about you. I'm referring to those days, we all have them, where it just isn't looking like we want to look, and now you are giving me feedback that's not what I necessarily wanted to hear. I have to remind myself, especially when you stumble upon an emotional landmine, a fear that I hadn't even known was there, and so you've said something that's brought that fear up. I'm not hearing you. I'm hearing the fear. So I have to give myself the space to process. My old boss, LA Times, and we still have a great relationship. He would say to me, I know when I give you constructive criticism, feedback, that you're going to be quiet for 2 days and then we'll be okay. That's how I received feedback. I knew in the moment that I didn't like what I was hearing, and I had to process, right, what it really meant. Although he said what he meant, but I had to process it, and then I would be okay. I was never rude. I simply didn't engage on a personable level in those 2 days, because I needed to put it through the process, remind myself that he is in my corner. And when I get feedback from people and we don't have an intimate friendship, I still know that it has come to teach me a lesson. So here's my question for you. How do you receive feedback that is less than glowing? Are you someone who sulks? Do you retaliate? Do you get quiet? What does that process look like for you? And are you willing to, if you have checked off any of those boxes, start implementing some new tools? When you receive feedback that is not what you had expected, step back, redirect that energy, and while you are doing something that is forward movement oriented, reflect on the relationship. Remind yourself you only surround yourself with people you know, respect, and trust, and that they are in your corner. It's so valuable as we continue to heal and address the fear that that feedback may have triggered for you. Great opportunity to heal. Always a great opportunity to heal. Thank you so much, community, for sharing this space with me. Again, I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you super soon. Don't forget to comment. I want to know how you receive feedback.